Coming up on Mountain News this morning, one county's local EMS services made a move, as one official calls it, a long time coming. And it's important to watch campfires this year after reports of nearly 20 wildfires this past weekend.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We are at that 5:30 mark this Tuesday morning. Today is October 22nd. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmall for a look at your forecast this morning. I mean, Megan, I think we're on a little streak, I'm hoping, of
we
good
sure
weather.
are. We do have this weather continuing for the next couple days, so that's good. We do have a little bit of a drop in temperatures on Thursday, but we'll go back up before potentially going back down again. So there's some news for you. But as we look at today and specifically this morning, our satellite and radar is quite clear. We're not looking at much fog in the area unless you are in the Williamsburg, Murfreesboro, and Jacksboro area. And even then, it's not that bad of fog, but those current temperatures are a little bit on the chilly side, looking at those 40s for the most part, some places seeing that 50-degree mark, but you'll need that jacket, not necessarily a coat as you're heading out the door this morning. High temperatures for today, though, will be getting up to the upper 70s, and this is something we'll continue to see tomorrow. So we are on that trend. It's going to look good for today and tomorrow temperature-wise, and as you're going through the next 12 hours, we will continue to warm up into that high temperature and having nice, clear skies for the day. Sunrise will be at 7:49 a.m., and I'll have your ARH 7-day forecast in just a couple minutes. Madison?
All right, Megan, thank you. Voters, listen up. There are some important election deadlines coming up in Kentucky. Today is the last day to request a mail-in absentee ballot. You have until the end of the day to submit a request. All mail-in absentee ballots must be received by 6 p.m. on Election Day, which is November 5th, to be counted. In-person excused absentee voting runs October 23rd through the 25th and October 28th through the 30th. And early in-person voting will start on October 31st and continue through November 2nd. The Tech Center in Martin County is expanding with the help of a more than $3 million AMLR grant. The technical school received a grant for $3.1 million at the Source Summit Friday, which will go toward building a new campus at the Magoffin County Industrial Park. The campus will offer larger classrooms and allow the school to more than double its class sizes, while bringing more than 30 jobs to the area. Founder and President Angie Reynolds says though an exact timeline would be hard to pin down at this point, the funding means progress.
Our hopes is to try to finish this within the next 2 years. We'll have certain phases that will complete here and there, but this initial phase is design, engineering, and development, and we hope to start on that within the next 6 months.
Reynolds says the current center in Inez has already proven fruitful since opening last year, and she is excited to see how the next few years unfold. And here are some of the other funding announcements made last Friday on the final day of the Source Summit. More than $5.6 million will be going to Knott County for water and sewer at the high ground development known as Olive Branch. $700,000 will go to Salyersville Waterworks for meter replacements, and more than $2.5 million is going to the city of Campton in Wolfe County for the Hazel Green waterline extension, which will serve roughly 80 homes. The Paintsville-Johnson County Emergency Management and 911 Center have moved to a new space. The old building on Euclid Avenue had previously been home to several first responder agencies in the county. Director Gary McClure says with the old location being outdated and in need of several repairs, the new space came at a perfect time.
The building was in need of a lot of repair over the past few years. This location just kind of popped up, just kind of all of a sudden, that, you know, looked like this would be available, which this is already a city-owned building.
McClure says it is important to have a new and updated space as all emergencies go through the 911 center. A long-standing project for the region is the expansion of the Mountain Parkway. Last week, Governor Andy Beshear announced $116.3 million in federal funding would go toward the project. Governor Beshear says this large amount of federal infrastructure funding will help to speed up the four-laning of the Parkway.
When Governor Combs first started discussing it and putting some effort into that, a lot of years have elapsed. I wasn't born yet, but I will say since the years that I have been on the clock, being from here, it's been a top priority for us.
The funding will assist in the completion of the final 13-mile stretch from Magoffin to Floyd counties. Our fall foliage is nearing its peak here in the Commonwealth, and Kentuckians are headed outdoors to enjoy the autumn leaves. The forest fire season in Kentucky officially began on August 1st. It runs through December 15th. Brandon Howard with the Kentucky Division of Forestry says there were approximately 20 forest fires this past weekend. He said
we're still in a pattern where we're not receiving rainfall. The projected rainfall for the next 10 days is minimum.
Dry conditions combined with falling leaves give forest fires fuel to spread, meaning this time of year our forests are especially adept to burning. Recently, the Kentucky Division of Forestry purchased a simulator through a U.S. Forest Service grant to best help them strategize about ways to mitigate fires during peak dry seasons by minimizing environments that would fuel the spread. The House Task Force investigating the first assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump has released its interim report. The report was based on 23 interviews with the local law enforcement officials who attended the Butler, Pennsylvania rally. The bipartisan task force concluded the shooting was preventable and should not have happened. Lawmakers will issue a final report on the findings by mid-December, including any recommendations. The Biden administration is proposing what it calls the most significant expansion of contraception coverage under the Affordable Care Act. It would give easier access to over-the-counter contraception such as Plan B, spermicide, and O-pill. Right now, most private health plans cover the cost of contraception, but they often require a prescription. The new rule would eliminate the need for a prescription. The Supreme Court has declined to hear an appeal challenging the structure of the Consumer Product Safety Commission. It is the latest legal case that takes aim at independent government agencies. The appeal from two educational organizations claimed the Independent Consumer Protection Agency violates the Constitution because its 5-member board can only be removed by the president for cause. When we return, this Halloween festival told viewers to beware of dogs as it paraded dressed-up pups around New York.
And a little bit more of an in-depth view at our fire warning. So that's something to look forward to in just a couple of minutes.